It's your boy Chubbie Baby. I just jumped off the porch with dirty glove passes. The illest.
So pay me like a soup, and you gon' hit the deck.
Word to my mother, I bring that Rari out. All right, so we got Chubbie Baby off the porch with us today.
What's going on?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. I'm happy you here, man. So how are you feeling today, man?
Man, I woke up today, so that's great. Everything else I could deal with.
Yep, I feel that, man. That's what's up, bro. All right, so we got a lot to dive into, man. But let's take it back to the Bronx. South Bronx,
South
right?
Bronx.
Yeah, so what was it like coming up in the South Bronx?
Coming up in the South Bronx, man, you know, was an adventure. Really was like more of a, you know, I think life really like dealt with me early. You know, and I say that most of the baddest things that can happen to you happen to people when they're like older. Mine's happened to me when I was young. So I dealt with grown people problems as a kid.
Oh, yeah?
So that's what made me more advanced growing up in the Bronx, you know what I mean? Single home, you know, my mom raising me and my brother. You know, she did the best she could do, trying to keep us out of trouble. But when you're living in the projects in the South Bronx on 80th Street, boy, once you get off the elevators, it's problems. You know, at 10 years old, I witnessed my brother get shot. And he shot a guy. He shot him back 5 times while we was playing football.
Oh, wow.
And I seen that at 10. Then, you know, when I was 13, you know, I had to go identify my brother. So I seen death at an early age. A lot of people in my neighborhood died early. So I was accustomed to death early. You know, hustling early. 14 years old, I'm hustling. You know, living a different kind of life. You know, so South Bronx taught me a lot of good things and bad things. You know what I mean? But I embraced them both.
Yeah.
Because when I look at myself where I'm at today, and I can just say all of it panned out for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It paid off here in the end. So yeah, man.
Yeah. And you know, going to prison at 16.
At 16?
Yeah, I went to prison at 16 for 2.5 years. A1 felony, you know, selling drugs, man. But I always knew I would be something. And in jail, I'm accustomed of, you know, my skills of being a people's person. And I just loved the music before I even went to prison. So when I was in there, I was just sharpening up my bars. And I told myself when I got out of prison that I was gonna go to another level.
Did you focus on music right away when you came home?
Yeah, I did. I actually did. I came home on parole, started rapping and going down to 129th Street to Vacant Lot. Dame Grease really played a real major role in my music career. People don't know Dame Grease. Dame Grease really, you know, is the guy that really helped Swiss become the producer he was, and DMX, The Lox, Dragon, Eve, me. You know, them eras right there, we was all at Vacant Lot, 129th Street, just rapping. Cam, Jim wasn't rapping at the time. And we all would just be there and just bunch of talent. And we all would go battle on 125th Street. Yeah, in front of the Mart.
Okay.
But at that time, I didn't really, music was what I wanted to do, but my mind was still stuck on that paper. So it's crazy. I never talked about this story, but he's gonna laugh at me if he ever sees this interview. I remember my guy Ron took me downtown to meet Mark Pitts, because Mark Pitts was actually starting a record company called Boston. But he had auditioned with a couple people. I went there, killed it. He loved my swag. And I went out of town the next day on the Greyhound bus to Ohio. And my mom called me soon as I got there and said, this guy named Mark Pitts called. He said he wants to give you a record deal. I told my mom I'll get back to him. And I never went back to New York to pursue music. I was on my path of hustling.
How'd you end up in Ohio, out of all places?
Well, Ohio been a part of me and my family, my guys from my neighborhood. They've been a part of us from the beginning of time, since the 80s. My brother was out there, you know, my best friend Tone, his father used to take us out there. So we was hustling that young, man. And, I just wanted to stay on that path.
Yeah. How did hustling in Ohio compare to back at home in New York?
Oh, it was a whole nother level. My first day out there, man, got into a drive-by shooting.
Oh, shit.
I said, okay, it's my first time doing this. I'm 19. I'm like, no, I'm 18, matter of fact. I'm like, wow, this is what they do out here? So I had to custom real quick. And Ohio was a major part of my life. You know, I met my wife there when I was 19. And that, you know, that place changed my life. I would never think that Ohio would be a staple in my career and my life the way it is and the way it was back then, but it really is.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to even be able to be in the Midwest like that. It taught me more how to be more of a team player. Because growing up in the Bronx, you're more of a cutthroat. You know, you're for self. I moved out there, you know, I got with my guys, man, my man Papa Joe, all other guys' names I can't really talk about. But, you know, it was more of here, do your thing. Just bring back the money.
That's love.
Yeah.
Cameron's Getting in Ohio. I take it was kind of about you, or how did Cameron end up in Ohio? I'm sure you was the connector.
Me and Cam are like we brothers to rest for life. We DipSet for forever, right? And it's just at that time we wasn't in the same space, and it was a little jab. Getting in Ohio, it was a little jab, but it was about me, and with little other lines in there, just people in the video that I didn't fuck with at the time. And he knew that would get me mad. But I love Cam, man. Me and Cam is brothers. If it wasn't for Cameron, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't be right here right now. If it wasn't for Cam, I'd probably be doing 40, 50 years in the feds, or I'd be dead. So I'm always grateful for Killer for seeing something in me I ain't seeing myself. I'm always grateful for Cam for taking me to every meeting with him, taking me in every room. Everywhere he went, I went. We were just some young kids having fun, and we was diplomats, but he was seasoning me for the bigger picture. And I took all them lessons and turned them into blessings.
I feel that.
You know, Touch It or Not, it's one of my biggest songs I ever did with Cam. Mm-hmm. One of these producers I've signed from Ohio. You know, I put him in the mix, got him some big records, Juelz, Lil Wayne. And I was like, at that point, I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna start rapping. Then I jumped in, then I dropped a record that, you know, changed my life forever, for real. You know that record?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Classic, man.
So, Can't Feel My Face. Probably I was like, had more of the production on Can't Feel My Face at the time. And then Juelz and Lil Wayne didn't put the project out.
One of the most anticipated albums that never dropped.
I was about to be on the moon. I was gonna be on the moon when that shit came out. So we didn't put it out, but we had some dope ass records from it. Welcome to the Bad Side, remember that? Juelz and Lil Wayne, Welcome to the Bad Side. Mm-hmm. That shit was crazy. Then Leanin' Low. Leanin' Low was like a fucking
That was another
smash.
big one, yep.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Trey Beats. That was the 25th beat on his CD. I was living in Miami, and I was just living life, 2005. And I was just about to take his CD and throw it out the window. I said, this fucking Beats is trash. And I got a phone call. You know you on the phone, you talking, and then lean it. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna call you right back. I said, whoa, this is it. So I called Lil Wayne, I said, yo, Wayne, this fucking track is fucking bananas. He's like, you know, send it to me, email. You know, back then it was email. Mm-hmm. So I email it to him, calls me to the studio, was like, yo, we about to use this for the project, but we never used it. So Wayne was just like, yo, man, I think you should just drop a song. So I came with this line. I said, if I'm gonna do a song with Juelz and Weezy, who the fuck am I? I mean, behind the scenes, I'm chubby, but the world's about to know this is 2006, 2007 Wayne. I'm like, I just gave him that line. It's Chubbie Baby, drop top Mercedes, haircut wavy, the black Patrick Swayze. When I did that line, getting this money like it was the 80s. Everything good, everything gravy. And then poof, it fucking went bananas from there. And that's how Chubbie Baby was born.
Okay.
Because my guys, they all call me Chubbs. Or Chubbie Da Don.
So you didn't even have a rap name.
Now, I was in a different lane. I didn't even want to do videos. Cam forced me to do the DipSet Anthem video.
Oh, yeah?
I was rolling dice with Dame and them. We was over there trying to rob Aviani for all them diamonds he brought to the video shoot. I wasn't fucking thinking about getting in the video. And if you see the video, I was way heavier, but had a lot of fucking jewelry on. So, you go back and look at my pictures and my throwbacks, man. I always had fucking jewelry. I loved it. I always want to hustle to wearing Rolexes at 15 years old, man. That's changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I got to ask you about Word to My Mother, man. This is one of Future's...
I think before you get to Word to My Mother, right?
Yeah.
I think you're jumping past a era of my career that's very important to me. Is when I moved to Atlanta, I was ready to stop doing music, but me and Jim Jones, we super tight. So we start doing records, running around, and went to Miami, we did Ballin. Had Franchize Boyz on the record.
Parlay told that story about how
Yeah, I
they
said,
were
Jim,
on.
this record is just too big. Me, Max B, and God Bless the Dead, stack bundles. Us four, we sitting in Jim's house, matter of fact. And I said, take them off. Took them off, went to New York. Matter of fact, we was in Atlanta when we said that. Got to New York, Jim did another verse, went to New York. Gave it to Flex. But in the midst of that, we did 2 records that changed everything for me. You know how somebody does a feature and you think it's benefiting them, but it really benefited me, just being in the room. We did Walk It Out and Throw Some D's remix.
Okay.
So we met Polow Da Don. In the midst of me and Polow Da Don, me and Jim left, went back to New York. I was here, I would go to the studio with Polow every day. But in the midst of that, Jim was getting hot. He did a feature with Rocko. Me and Rocko got cool. So now the story gets interesting. So now, Polow, I'm going to the studio every day. And this is for everybody that wants to do music and they want the roses delivered to them. They don't want to grow them. Remember when I said this? Yeah, I want y'all roses delivered to y'all, but you don't want to grow them. When I say that, Polow and I probably went to his studio for 6 months straight. Mind you, I'm broke at this time. I'm spent all my money. Famous, broke. Not a good combination. So, 6:58 in the morning, they got this song called Turnin Me On for Keri Hilson. I'm listening to it. It's crazy. Polow says the magic word. He says, I wish I could get Lil Wayne to do this song. I said, sure? He said, yeah, man, I wish. I walk out the room. I call Wayne. Yo, man, with this nigga named Polow Da Don, I need you to do this fucking song. They're gonna pay you, but he's the biggest producer right now. He said, put him on the phone. I got you, big bruh. Go in there, pass Polow the phone. I said, here's Lil Wayne. He looked at me like, are you fucking kidding me? Lil Wayne. Wayne says, yo, you got my brother in there. Send me the song, I'm gonna do it right now. Polow drops the phone. He's like, he's scrambling now. I'm like, pick the phone up. Polow picks the phone up, tell him, send the song. Wayne does the verse. kills it. Polow says, I don't like the last 4 bars. My heart drops.
Oh shit.
I'm like, you can make him do it over? He said, yeah, he got to. He sends it back. Wayne does it over. Sends it back. Polow says, yo, what I gotta do, man? I give you $25,000 for doing this. I'm smart. I says, $25,000, that's cool. I said, but you ain't gotta pay me $25,000. He said, what? I said, you could just give me a job. Let me work for your company. Cause you're gonna need stuff like this all the time, and obviously you don't got the connections I got. And you're gonna need Baby and Slim to clear the song. His eyes got big. He said, you're right. Hire me. And when I got to zone 4, I just went in a fucking zone. Next song I did, I put Lil Wayne on Drop It Low for Esther Dean. Put Juelz and Chris Brown together to do Back to the Crib. Got Jeezy to do In the Club, which was a big ass song for Usher. Mm-hmm. Put fucking Gucci Mane on Spotlight. Polow, he didn't even like Polow at the time because Polow was fucking with Jeezy and they had this shit going on. And then I put Gucci on I Think I Love Him. And that shit was a classic.
Mm-hmm. With Esther Dean, yeah.
Fucking classic. And in the mix of that, man, we got so crazy. I was so, the industry knew what I was doing for Polow at the time. It was so crazy that they knew I was his go-to guy, right? And probably a million other shits I done did that, you know, there's no need to really talk about. But in the midst of that, Jimmy Iovine tried to give me a deal. Told me leave Polow. Offered me $1 million. I said, but I work with Polow. He said, I want you to work for me. Him and Puff. Puff is sitting there. I'm sitting there. I told Jimmy Iovine no. I told him no. Puff looked at me and said, man, you a crazy motherfucker. 2 weeks later, Puff cut me one of the biggest Ciroc deal checks ever. And I've been a Ciroc boy ever since then to now. But in the midst of that, I got cool with Rocko. And then everybody know Chubbie is moving around. Rocko, we doing swag season. Me and Coach K is in Rocko's corner. And in the midst of that, I would see Future. We'll see each other. Then we go to the studio. Rocko will always be late. Me and Future have that little 6 to 9. Rocko always would come at 9 o'clock. And we just use his time to record. You know what I'm saying? And then we just got cool, like. And he was telling me, like, I should manage him. I was just like, I ain't into the management stuff. Like, nah. And I was trying to be an artist at the time, too. I was like, yo, be Chubbie Baby. I'm like, the streets is fucking with me. I'm in my zone. And then one day we bumped into each other at this restaurant, me and my wife, him and Esco. And me and Esco was more tighter. Esco was like, what's up, man? Let's get to work, man. So I went by the studio. I went over to, what is the Outcast studio? Over at
Stankonia?
Stankonia. I went to Stankonia, man, and Future pressed play, man. When he pressed play, this was like, these was the songs 1000 was just ready, it was out. And then I was like, yo. Cause mind you, I did sound, I broke the deal with sound Roscoe Dash. So I understood what the sound was going. Off the Roscoe Dash situation with me and L.A. the Boom Man, T.A. and Polow. But Future was just more cooler. He was in that, I'm like, the auto-tune don't sound like T-Pain, don't sound like Roscoe. It sounded street. And I was just like, yo. So Future and me just got tight. We did about 5, 6 songs. And he came over to my studio one day and was like, yeah, we need to do some shit. Like some shit that's gonna go up in New York. Crazy. I was like, what you got? So our producer Mills at the time, he did the beat. Man, put that beat up. Word to my
That shit is so hard,
man. That shit was hard. And we shot the video. And we didn't know we was making history together. Nobody, you know, when you're making history, you don't know that you're making history because you're just in it. And me and Future just went on a, you know, I didn't say I managed him. That's an understatement. That's like, that's what you do for somebody that you're just working with. That shit we got and what we did was was a real brotherhood. It's like my big brother is overseeing my career for me. My big brother is making sure I meet the right people. I'm in the right rooms. My big brother is gonna make sure I understand who these people are before I even talk to them. And that run right there was crazy.
Yeah.
Millions. Millions in the kitchen is one of my lines. And that shit came up because when I was in the streets, I made millions in the kitchen. And when I got in the music business, I made millions in the kitchen too. So me and Future did a lot of legendary things, man. So LA Reid just gave us the, shout out to LA, man. Gave us the alley-oop. But after that little era, I just wanted to I felt like I wanted to touch more artists. I felt I was bigger, and my responsibility for the game was not being utilized the right way. So I took me and Future took a little break. I didn't want to manage no more. I just wanted to just do me. Took a little break, and then after that, I got a phone call. It's crazy, I never told nobody this, but when I did that, I was about to go work at the hospital. I got a job at the hospital, because I'm smart. I'm like, yo, look, I got my money put up, and I'm like, I don't want to spend my money. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go get a job, and I'm going to continue to do parties. And that, in the midst of that, let me rewind one thing. How I blew my brand up, I did parties with Alex, AG Entertainment. But what I did that was smart is I utilized my relations. Alex had the money, I had the artists. So I brought him Lil Wayne, Drake. I mean, you fucking name it. And then the biggest thing I did was, me and Rich Paul was the first to do all LeBron parties. And the LeBron parties was so good. I was making so much money. LeBron, I love you forever. Rich, I love ya. The legendary parties we did, man. From the Cavs to the Heat. And growing up in Ohio, I met LeBron in Ohio. My man Buck, he lived right next door to my guy Buck. My guy Buck was a real certified Akron, Ohio trap star. Just lived next door to LeBron. Told me, yo, come with me to my young boy high school game. I get there, I see Jay-Z. Wow. What the fuck is Jay-Z doing? He said, he's coming to see my guy. Yo, met LeBron. Man, we dapped up. We vibed out with him and the squad. He was just like, yo, man, I get on, come to Cleveland. I remember once he got that deal, signed that contract, I went up to Cleveland. We balled out for 3 days. And I was a DipSet member at that time anyway, so it was like, I always been famous. So that all worked out.
Yeah.
But I was about to work in the hospital. I never told anybody that.
So what made you change your mind?
Fucking Ray Daniels, man, and Breon Prescott. I got the job. I got the job on a Monday. I was supposed to start on a Thursday. I get a call. Breon like, yo, did Ray, you speak to Ray? I said, nah. Ray calls me. What the fuck, y'all blowing my damn phone up? They're like, yo, bro, we gotta go to New York. I said, Ray, I've got a job tomorrow. It's Wednesday. I said, I'm going to work tomorrow. He said, only work you're doing is on the plane. I said, for what? He said, the LA Reid's office. I said, I want to go talk to LA. He said, I don't care. If I don't bring you, I'm fired. All right. I get on the plane, go see LA, sitting outside. Everybody's looking at me like, he's here. You know how you walking down the hall, like everybody's just staring. I'm just feeling like, does everybody know I'm here? Ray like, yes. Everybody's just looking like, but I don't understand. But I should understand, but I don't understand. They're like, that's Future's guy, Chubbie. So I sit down, a little nervous, because I'm like, awkward. I never came in the building on this side before. Last time I was with LA, when me and Cam did a deal, Juelz, and then when Future did his deal. But now he wants me to come on the side with him. So they said he's ready. LA, man. LA is a different kind of guy, man. I goes in his office. The man is sitting there with his leg crossed. And I said, what's up, man? I said, what up? He said, you about to give the game up? I said, LA, man, I'm just not inspired. So I said, I'm gonna stay in the field of helping people out. He says, what you about to do? I said, I'm about to go work at the hospital. He said, nah. He said, you're not leaving here until you give me a number. Because I need you, and I need you to make this offer quick. He said, I'm gonna go use the restroom. Here's a napkin and a pen. Write down 3 salaries. I don't care what they are. And when I get back, I want this napkin with something in it. I was like, cool. So I'm like, what the fuck? And it's crazy. LA has all these books, records in his office. His office looked like a fucking living room. Like the most expensive living room you ever seen. And I just looked at this big ass Louis Vuitton book. And I said, you are Louis Vuitton. If you want people to respect you, they ain't gonna respect you if you're coming in cheap. So think high. Man, I wrote 3 fucking numbers down. That motherfucker came back in there, he looked at it. He looked at me, he looked at it again. He said, he circled it, passed it back. He circled A and B. He said, I put both of them together. Are you in? I said, yeah. He said, welcome to Epic Records. He said, go downstairs and go get a $50,000 bonus. Take your family on vacation. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Let's get to work. I went to Epic Records and did 47 million records. Got 4 Grammys, maybe 5 in 2.5 years. Signed 21 Savage, Cody Shane. Broke a Rick Ross deal over there. Put 21 on Khaled's album. That got him to do the single with Cardi B. Put Future on So Cold remix with Maroon 5. I mean, I went over there and did some shit. So the money that LA gave me was worth it. And then when he left, I left too.
Okay. Is that when you started your own?
No, I went to Hitco, LA.
Okay, you went to Hitco, all right.
Yeah, went to Hitco, LA. That was I mean, if you rocking with somebody, you gotta rock with them. You gotta stay with them. So me and LA just rocked out, went to Hitco, signed DJ Holiday, Coca Vango, Light Skin Keisha, and then they had St. John. And the first day we met in Vegas, we locked in. Talent knows talent. And I just told LA, I want to do his project. And we did the project with Roses, all them records on there, Collection 1. We worked on a bunch of different songs. Trap, put Lil Baby on Trap, Meek on one of the other records, A Boogie. You know, we worked with Lenny Kravitz. And then when I decided to do my own label, I left Hitco. When I left Hitco, St. John, him and Biggs wasn't with it. So they brought me under the management team. So I started co-managing them, and then look today. 4 weeks ago, he won 2 Grammys.
Mm-hmm. It was #1 on Billboard, what?
#1 on Billboard, yeah. Yep. So I don't miss. The moral to the story is, man, I follow my gut feeling. I don't miss. And I see a lot of people out there, you know, portraying as managers, portraying as A&Rs. Those titles, they're just titles. But you really could beat them titles if you really want to be an A&R or a manager. You got to really put the work in and sacrifice. So now here I am. I'll go back to ground zero, start my company from scratch, and I'm on another path of greatness. So that's the path I'm on right now. Just trying to see if I could do it again. I'm very confident that I can. First artist that I'm breaking is Casper Bluff. He's from the Bluff. I found him at a Waffle House. And that's A&R work. I mean, 2 years ago, nobody knew him for real, unless they knew him, but now he can't even walk in the mall. It starts in your own city, so I feel like I'm doing my part. And I'm up for the challenge of this new era, the digital era. You know, I got a few new artists, and I'm just gonna take it day by day and give each artist the energy they need to get to the next level. In the midst of that, I got songwriters. You know, we still getting #1 records like Heat, Chris Brown and Gunna. So my writing team is killing shit. A lot of new stuff in the pipeline with Beyonce, you know, SZA, St. John. Man, so much heat on the way. So I feel like I wanted to come on the porch, off the porch, excuse me. So I feel like I wanted to come on off the porch to tell people the story, because a lot of people don't know what I do. And it's just time for me to just let people understand what I do.
And you do it very well.
Yeah, the guy behind the scenes.
Yeah. What are some qualities you look for in an artist if you were, or
Work
if you are
ethic.
gonna sign them?
Work ethic. If you fuck with me, you gotta have a work ethic. If you're waiting for me, then you ain't like, you gonna always be waiting. Cause I feel like, what am I learning from you? And I'm telling every artist this, so even the artist that's on my label, I can't learn from you if you ain't giving me nothing to learn, to see. I can't learn from you. But if you're doing stuff, that inspires me. It's like, all right, let's say this. You could go to the strip club, right? The baddest girl in there, if she ain't trying to come in your section and shake her ass in front of you, you ain't gonna go out your section and go find her to do it. You're like, yo, I'm looking good. You know I'm looking good over here. You know you need to be over here with all this money flying. But if you don't come over here, then you just don't get nothing. And that's same with artists. If you don't work, then you just don't get a shot. I want to be confident about artists. Is like, I look at artists' hair, how their face structure is, how they dress. I can look at an artist and see how they look with a chain and a watch on, or if he don't need it. That's just a talent that I've been blessed with. It's like going shopping. You gotta know your shoes, you gotta know your clothes. You gotta know your women. If I pick a girl artist, she gotta be bad. This is my preference. Or if she ain't bad, then her voice has gotta touch your soul. What's the connection? That's what I look for. What's gonna be your connection? What's your story? So that's what I look for.
What's been some of your keys to maintaining these good relationships that you have throughout these years?
Just always being straight up. Not being a fucking liar. Not telling people some shit that you know ain't the truth, man. I'm an artist. I'm always gonna be an artist to the day I die. So artists are emotional. So if you lie to them, they're gonna take that lie harder than anything. So that's how I look at life. Any relationship, just be straight up in it. It costs you nothing to lie. A lie gonna last. So it's like a never ending story. And one day you're gonna get caught in that lie. Then everything you stand for is down the drain. So everything I work hard for, I can never let a stranger come into my situation or in my life and take that away from me. Because I protect it with my life.
What inspires you to keep going today?
My kids, my wife, and myself, and my people that's around me. You know what it is when you walk in a room and people look at you and they believe that you can change their life? Because they look at all the other lives that you changed. So I don't like to let people down. I don't quit on people. Only I'm gonna quit on you if you quit on yourself. So that inspires me to dream in another person's dream. Your dream means more to me than my dream means to me now, because I'm living my dream. So that's it.
Yeah. What's next, Chubbie?
Man, what's next? A whole lot of hits. I'm trying to just build a new regime, and I want to be back on the fucking top. So to get to the top is, you just gotta work extra hard and think way out the box.
Are you looking for any A&Rs to hire or to mentor?
Of course. I just got one new guy. I think he's amazing. And I'm looking because I need to learn from the new guys. I'm always down. If y'all know somebody that want to reach out, yeah, bring them to me. I looked out for Spitty when he was young. You know, before I knew what a Dirty Gloves Bastards was, any of that. He was a digital kid. I told Future, like, yo, we need to hire him. I fucks with him. And Ray Dames introduced me to Spitty. So that's why I'm here today, because Spitty did so much for me, and I owe him this. So if I did any interview first, I promised Spitty months ago I would do interview with him first.
Appreciate that, bro.
And I kept my word.
Yep.
I love you, Spitty, my brother.
Any shout outs before we wrap it up, Chubbie? I'm sure there's a million people, man.
Man, I just want to shout out my family, my Awesome Life Squad, and you guys for doing this for me. Appreciate all you guys. Believe in God and just always aim high. Sky's the limit. Nobody can stop your blessings but yourself. So everybody there listening, I'm a kid from the South Bronx that came up with nothing and gained a whole lot of every fucking thing. So you can do the same. Just keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep working.
So pay me like a pussy, and you gon' hit the dick.
Hey, word to my mother, I bring that Rari out. Word to my mother.